Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Policy Corner, where we tell you how policy should be, how it should be understood, and what we're actually doing in our country.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Policy Corner. It's GK, your co-host, and I'm glad to have you with us.
I didn't mention my name at first, thinking everybody knows it, so but it's going that. So today we'll be discussing something that has actually been happening. We've been very conversant with the news, or we've been very in touch with social media. We've been seeing what is actually happening now. The election period is coming closer. January 2027 is going to be the election for the new, what's it called? What do they call them now? Who are the people that are voting in by 2027?
Political aspirants. My mind is far away. But it's back here with you guys.
So January 2027, the new political aspirants, each of them will be voting for them so they can go into their office. And now we are in the election primary section where party members are being picked, or party members are voting for their preferred candidates. And there is something that has been going on all around, because we've been seeing that the people that are probably holding a particular political position right now, they either lost their positions or they were not voted for by the party members. And it's something we really need to talk about. What do you think, Chike?
Yeah. I did notice that phenomenon in certain quarters of the country. Maybe some wards or constituencies that primaries held in various parties where people who were incumbents and traditionally should basically have more of a sway to get their party tickets. Apparently, in those cases, that didn't happen. Yeah, I noticed that. So that's what they've been talked about. But then also, in my mind, I'm thinking about the sort of elitist viewpoint or elitist procedure by which we get people who eventually get to be the people that people select at election day. So typically, primaries involve just the party.
Okay, so that is actually the problem. When we say primaries involve just the... No, I really need to understand that part when you say primaries involve just the party. Because are you saying that I cannot pick my preferred candidate? Somebody has to be shoved to me as a citizen of Nigeria. I have to vote for that person because he has been picked by some members in the primaries. I don't understand. Can you explain that? Because there are so many Nigerians that are confused about the fact that why can't we have an open ballot system where we have so many aspirants and everybody picks their preferred participants?
Okay. So there are various favor theories around elections, and many of them, can't go into all of them on this podcast today. Maybe in an article in the future I can do that. But aside from all of that, by our constitution and by what INEC currently follows, for you to run for any position in the Nigerian political system, you have to be part of the political party. Now, there are several criteria around how parties are formed and what they constitute. Again, we can't go into all of that now. But the summary is that you have to be part of a political party. But then, if you now take it a step further, because typical Nigerian, once they hear elections, they think, okay, election day, for example, is mid-January for the presidential next year and mid-February for the gubernatorial next year also. So they think that's elections and that's what's happening. And we'll come there, we'll come with our PVC. Your PVC is your power, PVC is your voice. But then the quote-unquote PVC is your power and voice conversations are basically sell you a half drink.
So are you telling me that the people that are voting in these primaries, they all have PVCs?
Yes, they do have PVCs, but I'm getting there. So I was saying that the PVC is your power mantra sells you a half drink, in the sense that you stay with your PVC, you choose the options that are presented to you, but then the primary elections is where those options are selected.
That is where we need to understand, or that is where we need Nigerians to understand. Political aspirants are selected at the party level. Who are the people doing the selection? The party members. So who are these party members? Are they regular Nigerians like me and you? Are they people that are formed from a particular class of people? Are they from a particular social class? Who are these party members?
Like so that's the thing. Already Nigerians, our turn up at elections have been falling since the 2003 elections. Last election was the lowest we had ever, around 25 or 26% Nigerians voted in that elections. That was the number and all that. So, but then comparing that 26% number to even the numbers at the party level for primaries, this is even worse. In fact, if what you say it in statistical terms, you say it's that the people that vote for primaries are a statistically insignificant number. Like they're that small, you can't even record them. Probably 0.0000. Because for primaries, all the people who are okay, let me go back a little bit. Typically in Nigerian system, there are three ways by which parties select or elect people who go vote for them in the general elections. The first is direct primaries. That's the simplest one. That's basically like for the elections that we have in January and February, where party members come together and then vote for people who have picked up tickets for certain positions, and then whoever wins that party votes gets to represent the party.
Now, you're explaining the end-to-end of the party. Now, what I want to know is, who are the party members? Are they the bourgeoisies? Are they do they have a particular social class? Are they lecturers? Are they academics? Are they doctors?
To be honest,
because a lot of Nigerians want to know who are the people that are picking a particular candidate.
To be honest, party members are everybody. They are the bourgeoisie, they are the proletariat in the lingo of communists and anti-communists, by the way. In that lingo, they're the proletariat, they're everybody. They are the banker, lawyer, truck pusher. They are everybody, basically.
So, you're saying that?
I'm saying that anybody who can walk up to an APC, PDP, LP, NDC, ABC, XYZ party stand and already start to be party member can be party member.
Okay, so now there is no jurisdiction, there is no, this is a part of elitism or part of classism.
No, it's not.
So anybody can be a party member.
Definitely, yes.
Now, since we are putting our life in the hands of these party members, I don't know if you understand, I'm being very serious. We're putting our life because these people have to decide. I mean, you would come together and decide who you want to pick as a candidate. Now, let's look at what is going on in Sowell constituency. The party members are already backing one person. Are they backing this person because they understand the person's ideology towards policy making? Or they're backing because I really need to know, these party members, do they understand what is at stake? Do they understand policy? Do they know that do they have an idea that this candidate or this aspirant they are picking, he has plans for my constituency, or he has plans for being the governor through the policy he has presented to them?
You're asking very hopeful questions. There's a saying by Sowell, popular and very good mechanic economist. He says the first lesson of economics is that every resource is scarce, and the first lesson of politics is to do with the first lesson of economics. To forget what economics tells us. So politics basically is saying that no, we don't want logic, we don't want economics, we don't want how resources should be managed. What we want is interest. And that's why I believe that the goal of any electoral quango or ombudsman, like in INEC's case, should be to create laws that are targeted at trying to reduce the impact of politics on elections, on final outcome. Because
I think,
like you mentioned in Sowell's case now, most likely what's happening there is people have interests, their interest vested in one individual. Interest in this context now means things that have nothing to do with policy.
It could be financial interest, it could be economic interest.
Interest is a broad word, but in our context,
because I feel as citizens, if we are going to have a set of people that will be deciding on who a particular political aspirant should be for the party, the aspirant should be able to defend themselves with the public policy or with the policies that they will be bringing up. Before it even gets to the stage of manifesto, the first stage should be what's it called? The first stage you convince your party members. But it looks like, I don't know, I was watching a particular, I was watching a particular news show, a talk show, and I can't remember the particular episode, and one of the presenters said that he doesn't like the way politics is going in Nigeria because of the APC party.
Okay.
And he categorically mentioned and said that they are running it like the winner takes it all in politics. But if we actually look at the definition of politics, it actually says who gets what, when and how. So are the party members running their political aspirations through their preferred aspirants? Because I really want to know how they will pick me. If I have something, if I have plans, I understand policy, I know what is good for my citizens, I know what is good for my constituency. What do I have to do for these party members for them to pick me?
Well, first of all, I think it's very important for us to be grounded in reality that politics works with interests. Now, if you are, let's say, someone who is largely progressive in your thinking, you're thinking of maybe framing your manifesto for maybe your constituency or gubernatorial or senate or whatever you're running for, really. I want to frame your manifesto in progressive terms, SDGs, this one, climate, healthcare, and you have all your ideas, you're sound. You have to come to terms with the reality that you have to interact with these people. They have to like you. They have to think that you have their interests at heart. Because if you are all these things and you can't scale past the level of the primaries, you're going nowhere. You're just become a technocrat, file an NGO, do something like that. But you will never get to power. That's basically it.
But don't get me wrong, I'm actually happy when I feel happy when incumbents are not performing and they are being removed. Because the party members know that this person is not performing and is being removed. I understand that school of thought. I understand how it's supposed to be. But then coming together to pick a consensus participants based on the fact that the incumbent has lost has lost favor in the party. I mean, come on, we can't keep on going like this in Nigeria. Because So this episode is really going very short because I'm very hungry about the outcomes of things in Nigeria. It means that party members are not actually defending their integrity or defending their aspiration to political aspirants are not defending their aspirations to the party members. So people are basically picking based on loyalty, based on godfatherism, based on nobody understands policy as a party member. So I would say that's not a criteria to.
So trust me, like I understand your anger, but there's also the fact that right now we have to come to terms with Nigeria's current political realities.
And which
Nigeria is politically captured. That's just it.
That is because we are trying to move. We're trying to make Nigeria a one political party.
Wait. Hear me out. So, even when it was not even when the PDP were putting up more of a fight against the APC, when the APC was still the underdog from 2015 backwards, even when that was the case, Nigeria was still politically, quote unquote, politically captured. What I mean by that is that, so for example, if you are trying to get maybe into power and you're progressive, you have good ideas and all that, you have to be subject to the political system. What that means is that Nigeria, at least for the longest time, has always had the idea of two strong parties, be the PDP and the AD, or going back to independence. There's always
Alliance
a case
for Democracy.
There was always a case
Action Congress.
of a duopoly. There's always a case of where maybe one party has more states, but there's an upcoming force always fighting. The idea is that if you are serious in Nigeria and you want to run for office for any good cause, you have to come under one of these parties. Now, how that translates now going forward is that those parties now have their tickets very expensive. Sorry for you, if you're not a thief, you don't have money anywhere that you're saved up, you don't have first fund, you're not rich, sorry for you, those tickets are expensive.
That is why I believe that we should have an independent party.
Now,
that I, as a person, I can actually declare my interest without having to be under any political party.
I'm not sure. I think that might require a constitutional amendment. I'm not sure. It might not require
if it's going to require a constitutional amendment, these are part of the things we should be fighting for.
Okay, I get you. Let me finish my order. So you now, as a smart, progressive guy, you get masters in the UK, you have ideas, you feel like a bad guy, you feel like you're the next best thing to slice bread. Okay, you show up. Now the tickets for maybe senatorial in your party is 50 million naira. How do you want to get the money? You can't get the money. So
or you keep on begging people, okay, give me. Now I understand the concept of this thing.
Not even even if it's still, even if you, let me give you the summary about what you should do as a Nigerian based on current political realities. You have to get the interest, get the people in your party, make sure that you have their interest at heart, because they now will fund that ticket. That's basically how it works, because they don't expect you to have 50 million. They want you to come and get the money from them to get that's basically how it works. So now, what that now does, because imagine, let's say you are a big boy, you have money, right? You maybe open a business, you made so much money, maybe $9. Even if you had 50 million naira and you pay the money, you will not win the election.
Now I think I can draw a straight line from political aspirants being picked to corruption in the government.
Exactly. So when I said Nigeria is politically captured, that's what I meant. Because now, if you want to get into power, you have to go through one of those two parties in the duopoly, be it APC, PDP, ABC, XYZ, whatever the name is in the near future on the distant past. Either of them. You have to go through all the parties. Those parties have those structures in place to make sure that you are loyal to them, and then just goes and rolls into yourself in that sense. It's why people like maybe the governor of your state, or there's several other examples of people who seem like mavericks. Those examples are very rare. And if you even want to look at those examples deeply, you might find that there's also a case of them also obedient to the interest of certain party godfathers. But fundamentally right now, that's how the structure works. What I would say was
I'm even already angry because I'm so angry because now the straight line between political is just so glaring, and I think everyone that listens to this podcast today will be able to also pick something that our lives are practically in the hands of, I don't want to call them non-entities, because you already classified them and said, oh yes, we have the bourgeoisie, so it means that we have learned people who are succumbing to be ruled by people that don't know what they are doing as a result of the straight line from political aspiration to corruption. So I rest my case. I'm leaving this podcast for you today. I'm leaving this.
You guys should please forgive my co-host. Forgive my host. I'm the co-host too. Please, I'm the host of the show. But what I would say about the entire thing is that, like I said earlier on, the last elections, around 26% of Nigerians turned up at the elections and voted. And even worse, the number around people who are in political parties. I think as a people, as we're moving forward in our democracy, I mean, we're close to 25 years now, if not over that. No, but 27 years now in democracy, right? Wonderful. So we've learned lessons. We have seen that it has not paid us to wait for election day to go involved in politics. I think from the end of this electoral cycle and from next year, I think every one of us should join the party. Whether it is the APC, the PDP, the MP, whatever the party is. If you can't even, if you have influence and people know you, you have friends, you can form your own party. Please form your own party. This is very important because what we have come to learn in our 27 or 26 years of democracy is that the elections actually start on the party level, at the level of primaries. And if you don't have the power to choose the options at that level, then your PVC is secondary power, not a primary power. And I think that's the most I have to say. I encourage us all Nigerians to become more politically involved. Go beyond just coming out on election day. Go beyond getting your PVC. Join a party. have your rep's number on standby. Question them, write them letters, ask for their budget, get politically involved until we are fully involved in the political process from the democratic process from start to finish. That's from election to accountability, join the party to voting, and we do all of that. That's the only point we'll start seeing our democracy in Nigeria reap its dividends. So thank you. I don't know if Frida is really saying anything.
I'm not saying anything because I'm not saying anything. Thank you all for listening to today's podcast. We have more topics we want to discuss because this is election period, and you guys need to be aware of what things are going through or what they are going through in this country.
All right, guys. Catch you next time. Bye.